All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we get into some Yankee updates and quite a rant, mind you. New dating app trends have dropped. Talk about that. And I get into some positive updates going on in the LPDS universe and the importance of having your version of the brotherhood and how you can go about doing that too. All that, plus a very interesting potential Cage fact for you coming at you right now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti, show that talks about nothing but tries to find the lessons in everything. We have a good time doing it. Hope everybody had a good week. I had a good week. We're going to talk about it in the Junction. That's all I'm going to say right now. But I hope everybody else had a good week. I'm recording this later in the day than normal. A lot of stuff going on today. I'm tired because of it. Gonna try to make this quick so I'm not blabbing and I'm not boring everyone to death. So with that, let's just get right into it. Real quick, Epstein. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Never forget. Never forget. Moving right along. Hand up, I sort of messed up last week when it came to Yankees streaming schedule. I was busy last week, but I also looked at the wrong week on the Yankees schedule and thought that they were playing the Astros last week, which means the games would have been blacked out, which means there was no purpose of streaming because I can't watch the games in a good enough fashion to be able to stream because of connectivity issues trying to get it because they black it out here because it's a Texas team. They black it out on the normal avenues, and then the shady avenues, it's not good quality, so it's not worth the stream. So I just doubled down on adding more stuff to schedule on my plate for Wednesday. And then by the time I realized, oh, they're playing the Orioles and it would have been a good day to stream, I was already booked with stuff to do. So I didn't advertise a stream or anything like that. I think there was a lot of people busy anyway, so maybe it worked out in some regard. That being said, it doesn't look likely there's going to be a stream this week either because they are playing the Astros on Wednesday and it will likely be a blacked out game. Apparently, it's going to be available on Prime. I'm going to try to finagle my Prime to show up from New Jersey to see if they'll play it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll keep you posted. I'll test some things out on Tuesday to see if it'll work, and if it does, I'll throw up an advertisement on the Instagram and Facebook page for the stream. Otherwise, don't expect to stream this week again. Here's the thing. There might not be another Yankee stream until maybe the playoffs, if they make the playoffs. I guess they're going to make the playoffs because the American League stinks this year and everybody's under 500 except for like 5 teams. So, the way my schedule's been going and the risk of burning out and the fact that most of these games have been just not fun to watch because it's bad offensive baseball by the Yankees, and I feel bad. I can't even watch these pitchers for the Yankees that are doing everything they can, and if they give up one run, they could basically lose a game. Now, I know at the time of this, the Yankees won 5 straight or whatever. Doesn't mean shit. They played teams that are not in contention for anything, so I don't, it doesn't mean anything. It was almost like they won despite how poor their offense is and how inconsistent their offense is. So I'll keep you guys posted on the stream stuff. I like them because they're fun to connect with everybody, but it does get very tough to enjoy when they're so bad and so bad in the sense that like not they're just losing to a better team or they're just getting outplayed. They're beating themselves because they're so bad at baseball. And I refuse to listen to these analysts and commentators who keep saying like, oh, well, they have the most home runs of any team and they have the most offensive numbers and they're still winning. It's like, I don't like the analytics. I don't give a shit about those numbers. What I give a shit about is this a team that's going to compete in the playoffs and give the fans a chance to see another World Series victory, another championship, another ticker tape parade? And this team is so far from that. Every other team has to shit the bed in enormous fashion in order for the Yankees to have a tit hair's chance. And that's just not likely. It's hard enough to make it to a World Series and win a World Series. Even if you're a good team, even the Dodgers can't do it every year, and they have a thoroughly dominant team all around for the most part. It's already hard to win a World Series. It's especially difficult, near impossible, when you put together a team like the Yankees have. When their best player, their only good player that they rely on, that they built their team around apparently, is hurt. And they use that as the excuse of why they stink as a whole after, the whole rest of the season. That's not a good team. But I did see something funny. It's delusional, wildly delusional stuff from the fan. This is why I hate Yankee fans. As a Yankee, like I hate our fans. They're so stupid. They're so stupid. This was a fan page on Instagram, and they posted the caption of the post was like, the Yankees will likely not sign Jazz Chisholm next year as he's a free agent. He'll probably sign with another team or whatever it may be, but it's likely this is the last season for Jazz Chisholm as a Yankee. And then the picture they had was a picture of Jazz, and it said in big letters, "End of an era." Now, first of all, even if this was an Aaron Judge type of player, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, like if this was Derek Jeter, A-Rod, if this was anybody, the guy played on the team for 2 seasons. Okay? If they did that to Jeter or A-Rod after 2 seasons, or Judge after 2 seasons, or Giambi or anybody, it still would not make sense. It still would be a stupid, over-dramatic post, probably for clicks and engagement, that nobody would care about. It would just be like, come on, dude, it was only 2 seasons. That's not an era. That's 2 seasons. That's nothing. The fact that it was Jazz Chisholm that they did that to, the guy has a batting average over those 2 seasons of 220, something like that. He batted 240 his first season. He's batting 6 now. Add in the almost triple digits worth of mental errors and bonehead plays and stupid mistakes he's made. I'm not talking regular errors where you just happen to bobble a ball, you throw it away by accident. Mental stupid errors. He did it again last week. He was running from second to third on a bases loaded situation. Lombard hits a slow roller to third base. The third baseman was like playing back or something. And Jazz overran third base and almost got backpicked. And because he almost got backpicked, he faked another injury. Because he thought that they were going to challenge the call and he was going to be called out. And every time he makes a bonehead play where he gets picked off, or he messes a play up, or he makes a bonehead error that causes a run or a runner or something like that, he fakes an injury. He gets the trainers out there. They cry, they cup his balls, and they pat him on the back, and then he's miraculously okay again. It's only after these bonehead plays. And that's how you know He knows he fucked up because he's stupid, because he fakes the injury. As soon as you see him miss a play, he misses a ball, bad throw, back pick, poor base running, whatever it is, and he calls for the trainers, you know, it's like, oh, he knows he messed up and he's stupid. He doesn't want to admit it, so he's going to fake the injury. Here we go again. And he did that. I don't even know why he was rounding third the way he was. Because if the third baseman threw the ball to first base, he still was going to get thrown out at home if he decided to keep going. I don't know if he thought like, oh yeah, if the third baseman throws it to first, I'll keep rounding third and head to home and try to get an extra. He wasn't even close. The third baseman picked up the ball before Jazz even hit third base. The math doesn't add up. He's not that fast. He's not Ricky Henderson fast. Or PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong fast. He's just not. He's fast, but not that fast. So it was a stupid decision to even run past third base to begin with. And then he almost got backpicked. That's the era that you're celebrating and you're sad about. That's what you're posting. End of an era. What the hell are you talking about, dude? The guy's not that good. I was pulling for him. I was hoping he had the same approach or same results as he did with the Marlins, league average. I would have been okay with that. But he just didn't. He just didn't. He tried too hard to be flashy and worry about home runs and worry about his own personal accomplishments and accolades. Plus the fact that he's so fucking stupid. He has a child's brain. He's not good. Nobody should be celebrating the quote unquote era of Jazz Chisholm. In fact, I'm happy it's only two seasons because we can forget about it. There's been plenty of Yankees much better than him that only played with the team for 2 seasons that people forget about, that people don't remember were on the team. I'm glad he's part of that list, and I feel bad for those players that were better that are on that list too, because now they're stuck in the same boat with Jazz Chisholm as a forgettable Yankee player. And let me tell you something, the Yankees re-signed that guy. I might have to march over to Cashman's office myself. And I'll take me to jail. I just want to talk to the guy. I want to find out, hey, are you also as stupid as Jazz Chisholm? Is your brain smooth? Like, give me a break. There's no way anybody in their right mind should sign that guy. When we're talking about a team that's supposed to be World Series competitive every year, that keeps talking about it. Go back to the Marlins, dude. Go to the Rockies. Go to a team that doesn't give a shit about that stuff. That their owners they only had to keep the team around because people pay money. Nobody else. There's no other baseball teams in Colorado, so they'll still make a profit on a team that's dog shit. Go play with them. There's no pressure. High altitude. You'll hit more home runs. You can go be a loser over there. But if the Yankees sign him, I might be done. I don't know. He's such a moron. Anyway, speaking of signings and what have you, it looks like Stan's not coming back this year. Apparently, he strained his other calf now while he was running the bases during his rehab stuff. And I honestly, I don't know. I'm annoyed by it. I wish Stanton wasn't Mr. fucking Glass. But at the same time, I almost feel like, did they tell him to do that? Like, is this some sort of backdoor, like, behind the scenes deal that they made with Stanton? Like, hey, we won't release you next year to another team. We'll keep you on the team if you don't play the rest of this season so that we can, I don't know, get the insurance to cover your salary and get Spencer Jones more at bats or whatever it might be. I don't know exactly, but it's just like there's no reason why he should have strained his other calf like this when he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't exerting himself one bit at all. So something's a little fishy there. I don't know. I want him to come back. I know he's not the best player in the regular season. We're talking about maybe 200 to 230 hitter, a lot of strikeouts. Can't really play. They don't play him in the field anymore. He used to be a decent fielder, and then the Yankees shut him down, and that's probably not helping with his injuries because he doesn't move around as much anymore. And they shut him down in that regard. But playoff Stanton was special, is special, and I also would like to see him get to 500 home runs. He's 44 away. I thought between this year and next year he would have been able to do it, but um, I also am realistic. Like, it's probably not the best to have him sticking around the team for too long because he's taking up money and space, contract space and uniform space and stuff like that. I get that part, but I still like him, so I'm gonna root for him. And who knows what's going on with Judge? I heard rumors that they were saying that Judge was secretly on a steroids punishment, and that's why he's got this quote unquote injury that happens to be around the 80 days of when he's supposed to come back at the end of August, September. I don't know. They've never done that, but like maybe they haven't, we just don't know it. But any famous player that got popped for steroids, they got suspended. Poppy got suspended, Manny Ramirez, A-Rod. Like, those guys put asses in seats, whether you like them or not. And they still got popped. They still got punished publicly. So I just don't see why they would make any exception for Judge. I don't. It wouldn't make too much sense for me. Everybody who's actually, failed a test got punished publicly. So I don't get it. Even guys who didn't fail tests got punished. So that doesn't make sense. I don't get that. I don't know who started that rumor, but I don't know. Maybe they're saving Judge for the playoffs. He might come back for the playoffs. I don't know what their deal is with him. I honestly, if I were Judge, I know you're going to be sitting out. You're going to be basically losing this year and possibly someone next year if there's a strike. But I could see the Yankees telling Stan to sit and then also telling Judge to sit so they can use that as an excuse of why they didn't win the World Series this year because they know they're not going to win the World Series this year. And they could be like, well, we still made it to the playoffs and we didn't have these guys. And we all know that's a bullshit gaslighting excuse that they're going to try to pull. And you stupid Yankee fans are going to fall right for it again. You stupid idiots who post end of an era for Jazz Jism are going to believe it because you're stupid. And I'm tired, and I hate you guys for it. As a Yankee fan, I hate you guys for it because you're the reason Cashman and Steinbrenner still pull all this shit and keep guys like Boone around and all this other bullshit that you guys complain about. Because your stupid asses still buy the jerseys with names on the back. You're so stupid because it's a little bit cheaper because it's not an official jersey. You'll still buy the jerseys, the merchandise. You'll still go to the games. I saw a game that we were streaming a game a couple weeks ago. That was a rain delay, and then in the middle of the game, it started raining again, and people were still sitting there, pouring rain out. Like, I know that the ticket was already paid, but you're the reason why Cashman's not going to change and Hal's not going to change, because you keep putting money in their pockets. You keep providing the profit because you're stupid. Because you want to see Jazz Jism with 52 pieces of flair and gold chains maybe hit a good home run once every 30 games. And you don't care if the Yankees actually win. You complain about it like you want them to win, but you want to bring your kid to the game and your two fat asses can go there and spend $1,200 and you could be like, oh, my son saw a Judge home run. And that was a cool accolade of memory I could give my kid. Why are the Yankees bad, though? I don't understand why they can't get better players and their money and this and that. And it's like, you're the reason why. Because your stupid ass keeps going to games and buying the Yes Network and buying the merchandise and buying the $44 tiramisu helmets to watch Jazz Jism get backpicked and Austin Wells bat 130. My dog weighs more than Austin Wells' batting average. You're paying for it. At least I go through shady internet ways so they're not counting my viewership and my money to watch games. I don't count. It's a wash for me. That's the only reason why I still watch them, because they're not counting. They don't. I don't count because I'm not that stupid. And you talk of the same thing: 27 World Series championships, the most storied franchise in sports history. We're gonna do it again. You can't shit talk us. We're tough guys. You're stupid. You're stupid. And I'm not saying don't be a fan. I'm still a fan. I love the Yankees. I love Yankees baseball historically. But when they're pulling this shit, when their front office is pulling this bullshit, you think Judge is making that much money off of you buying his jerseys? Not really. He gets his decent salary, and the Yankees front office obviously factors that into when they're doing their negotiations. Like, oh yeah, we'll pay him $300 million because we're going to get it back from merchandise sales. But Judge not getting, like, you're not buying a Judge jersey and he's not getting that cash from it. He already got paid. All the profits from the jerseys that they upsell and price gouge on, that all goes to Hal and Cashman and the rest of the gang in the front office. That's why you're stupid. Not because you're a Yankee fan. I'm not saying don't be a fan anymore, but you want to be a true fan? You want the Yankees to actually be great again? Send the message with your wallets. Stop showing up to games. Stop spending $60 a month on Yes Network or whatever the hell it is if you buy it solo. Stop buying the merch. Listen to it on the radio. It's free. You can get your kid into baseball that way. Guess what? I got news for you. Even in this day and age, you can still get into baseball through the radio. I did it. Most of my friends who I know all knew about John Sterling when they were growing up. You can still listen to the game that way. It's free. Yeah, they have their ad revenue for listenership, whatever. That's fine. That's peanuts compared to what you're paying showing up to games and buying merch and paying for a Yes Network. You want the team to actually be good. The only way to send the message and take any action as a fan base is to stop showing up to this bullshit. Don't forget that when the Yankees were this bad and this unsuccessful back in the 80s and early 90s, go look at videos of those seasons. Go look at them. There's nobody at the games. There's nobody there. And what happened? Stick Michaels, the actual good GM that Cashman takes all the credit for his work and his moves and his acquisitions. Him and George Steinbrenner started making crazy, bold moves. Now, Steinbrenner didn't make a lot of smart moves all the time, but he wanted to win. He cared about winning. He was just an emotional and an egotistical guy, so a lot of times he would make stupid moves in the name of trying to win. Cashman's not doing that. He's making stupid moves in the name of trying to save money and make you idiots think that they're trying to win. That's all he's doing. But nobody was showing up to the games, and Steinbrenner was livid. And he said, we have to do something. We have to turn this around. We have to figure this out. And if you don't figure it out in the next 30 minutes, I'm firing everybody. And they figured it out. And Stick Michaels, or whatever his last name was, I forget. I don't know if it's Michaels or whatever. Mitchell, I don't know. I don't remember. He started drafting smartly, intelligently. Smartly a word? It is now. He started making trades for the future. The core four, by the way, those weren't Cashman pickups. Those were Stick. Sorry to break it to you guys, but Cashman's been riding those coattails his entire career because he took over after Stick after the core four was already on the team. He had nothing to do with that. He didn't have anything to do with Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, Tino Martinez, Wade Boggs. None of them. Donnie Baseball. None of them. Okay? Has he made a couple of good pickups? Sure. His only true World Series victory that was solely based off of him for the most part, you could say 2009. Every other championship that you guys that are alive now that remember from 96 to 2009, the majority of the preponderance of the best players on the team, the core of the team, were not from Cashman. Okay? They were from Stick. Back when that team was struggling and the fans made a statement and said, hey, figure it out and then we'll start showing up again. But you fucking idiots don't do that anymore, do you? Sorry, T, family show. You keep showing up to games. You keep bringing your kids and you keep spending thousands of dollars at the stadium for parking and getting stuck in traffic and buying all the stupid shitbag food. And looking for the Judge home run and the Jazz Chisholm dance moves and all the other queer stuff. And Cashman is sitting there laughing his ass off because he can literally say whatever the hell he wants. And he knows you idiots are going to believe it. Maybe he's poisoning the food. Maybe he's putting something in the food that makes you guys just so gullible and stupid. Because he knows. You go watch a game now at Yankee Stadium, the team batting average is 212. Each player has 100 plus strikeouts, basically. It's an abysmal offensive roster this year. Abysmal, with the exception of a few people. And the stadium's still packed every single game because of you idiots. So until you wake up and take some accountability and ownership, and I'm not lumping myself in with you. I refuse to. I refuse to. Because I don't want to be part of this. I'm doing my part. I'm not adding any viewership or any money, any sort of way into Cashman's pocket whatsoever. Yeah, I'm a Yankee fan, but I'm not like you idiots, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be lumped in with that. That's what I hate about other baseball fans. Oh, you're a Yankee fan? Well, yes, I am a Yankee fan, but I'm not one of those idiots. Please don't, you can make fun of me for being a Yankee fan and trash talk me as long as you're not lumping me in with those morons that actually go to games. Because I don't think they deserve to have a fan base right now until they start turning it around. And it's not necessarily the players' fault. Yeah, they stink, but they didn't choose to be on the Yankees. Except for Judge, and he's good. It's because of Cashman and the ownership letting it happen. And the coaching staff that they hire is abysmal. So I could go on and on and on about these stupid fans. But I'm not going to because I'm getting tired. And I'm sure you guys are getting tired of listening to me bitching about it. So that's all I got to say about that. Moving on. Very quick, a new dating app trend has entered the villa, if you will. The ChatGPT or Claude or whoever it is telling them, once again, the parrots are out there just copy and pasting the same shit. Like I said, I know the guys do it too. It's just exhausting to see at this point. The new trend is there's a prompt on the dating apps that says one thing I would love to know about you. And the new trend is I would love to know what you name your friend's group chat. Like your text message group chat. So if people who text and don't know what group chats are, you can add people. You can add a bunch of people into one group message on iPhone or WhatsApp or different social media platforms, and you can name the group or whatever. And that's what it's the same type of person that does it. Like I can if I see one of these trendy prompts, I can basically predict the demographic information about them, the other prompts that they're going to put in there, and their answers for those prompts, those questions. They're all the same. And like I said, it's the same for the guys. There's no double standard here. I know the guys do it too, and I'm sure the ladies can also predict the same demographic and answer information as well. Once you see one of the trend prompts up there, you know, like, oh, it's one of them. I'm out. That's not my type. A copy paste. Like I don't like. How do I know you're real? You just say the same thing as other people. Where's some originality? Where's some authenticity? I don't know. Just because you might be good looking, that's not my bag. I'm not swiping on you just because you have a couple good pictures. It's not my thing anymore. So, anyway, that's the latest trend going on. I'll keep you posted and more. My goal is to not have to keep you guys posted on this anymore because at that point I'd become an indoor cat and I don't need those shits anymore, or I don't use them anymore. So that's the goal. Hopefully that happens soon. Anyway, moving on, I think we can finally get into the good stuff after I bitch about the Yankees for probably an hour. So let's get into the good stuff. Let's step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Salad Fingers. Do we have this already? Maybe. There's a lot of people out there who enjoy a nice Cobb salad from time to time, as do I. But the problem is, it's a real pain having to try and stab lettuce leaves on your fork as well as those chopped up pieces of breaded chicken, and it ends up ruining the entire meal. Well, not anymore, because Tony Rigatoni has developed the all-new Salad Fingers. Now, instead of a bowl full of annoying stray lettuce leaves, you simply have a bowl of what looks like chicken fingies. But once you bite into one of them, you realize inside lies the fantastic fixins of a classic Cobb salad. From the hard-boiled egg to the crouton bits and, of course, the lettuce leaves. Each bite of a salad finger will make you think you're eating a real-deal Cobb salad, just like the ones you used to get at Hooters back in college. So to get your salad fingers today, visit www.healthyfingies.com, and if you use the promo code RustySpoon, you get 29% off your first bowl of salad fingies. There you go, folks. You can finger anything these days. All right, the cage fact. I had a cage fact lined up and ready to rock and roll. I saved it in my notes for next week because a new cage update has entered the chat recently. And I'm going to be very honest with you here. I question it. So as I'm preparing for the LPDS today, I see on Instagram, pops up on multiple different feeds. I go to the internet to verify the announcement anyway, that this guy made. But one of the creators of National Treasure, one of the writers or whatever it is, was on a podcast this week and said that National Treasure 3 is officially a go. It's written, and the great one is set to return. And that's all the information he basically provided. He said that he discussed how, like, in the past several years, Jerry Bruckheimer has come out and said, yeah, we want to do it, but it's low priority, so we haven't finished the script, and we're hoping that the writers get a good script going. It has to be good, or else we're not going to greenlight it, and this and that. And then Cage back in 2024 2024 said, yeah, I keep hearing stuff, then, but I haven't seen anything, so I don't think it's likely to happen like the way they say it is. And for years and years and years, they've been kind of doing this dick dance with it. And then this guy comes out and said, "Yeah, we got like the script is done finally, and it's a go." Um, but then he also said it like he's like it's a Hollywood go, so there's still a chance it doesn't happen. But the script is written, and we're moving to the next step of the process from there. Like we got to prove to move to the next step in the process. Everyone's all up in arms and excited and happy, and finally this and that and blah blah blah. And I am just sitting here, skeptical, skeptical as hell because we've done this before, guys, and we've talked about it before multiple times in the cage here when we step into the cage. And it's been a very similar story where somebody comes out that's part of the production team or whatever, part of the previous two, all happy-go-lucky, saying it's go time, baby. And it's not go time. And I have yet to see Nicolas Cage make any official statements at the time of this recording that he has got word of it and he also officially signed on. That's just what the writer guy said, who could have very easily been lying once again to get people, he probably thinks like, oh, well, if we get everybody hyped up and everyone hears like, oh, Nic Cage is set to return, Nic Cage can't say no, he can't refuse this. Even if he doesn't like the script, he can't refuse now. Everyone's expecting him. That could be what the guy is doing. I don't know. I want to be excited. I love the National Treasure franchise, and I love Nic Cage as Benjamin Gates in it. I want to see more of that. But it has to be done right, and it has to have Cage in it, obviously. But all this boy who cried wolf shit, I can't get excited until I see the release date. Until the trailer comes out, the official trailer, not some AI-driven one, and there's a release date, and Nic Cage comes out and says, yep, it's me, I'm in it. We're doing it. Then I'll get excited. But right now, to temper everybody else's emotions on it, if you like the National Treasure franchise, don't get your hopes up just yet. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, though. And that's all I got to say about that. That's the Cage fact for you. You're welcome. Moving over to the Junction. We'll spin the logo up. I really don't have a lot in the Junction for you guys, but this is sort of a reminder, maybe a recommendation, some sage advice to people who might not know this already. They probably all do, but I'm going to say it anyway. Get yourself, if you do nothing else as an adult, get yourself a good support group. Friends, family, significant others, support group, a good circle. I'm not saying they have to be all that. If you don't have a good relationship with your parents or siblings, they're not part of your support group. Go find other people to be in your support group. But the bottom line up front, the bluff here, get yourself a good support group. Okay? And I say that after weeks of being deep into the trenches. Not just the normal trenches I've been in with the business, with Spearhead, but deep into it, as you know. As you know. But if I didn't have that support group, if I didn't have the family members, the LPDS universe, the brotherhood, the ride or dies out there, there is no telling how much worse I would have felt the past month or so in those trenches. I probably would have ended up still being in there much longer, digging myself deeper because of it. And maybe conversely, maybe that's not the word I'm thinking of. A good support group makes the tough times more manageable. They're still going to be tough. They're still going to suck. And some of them are going to suck terribly. Whether it's a breakup, divorce, loss of a pet, loss of a loved one, some of these are going to suck terribly. But having the good support group is gonna help, even if it's just enough to make things okay enough to get through that better. A top tier support group is going to do that. Your brothers, sisters, whatever you want to call it, whatever you call them, I call them brothers, even if they're women in the circle. They're going to help you get through that for sure. They're absolutely essential for that. But they make the good times so much better too. And before I talk about some of the good stuff going on, this is when you're looking for your support group. This is probably similar, I would imagine, to people when they found their soulmate, their spouse, their significant other. This is probably something that I would imagine they say is something I look for as well when I was looking for my forever gal or fella or whatever. There's going to be plenty of people in our lives that make good times feel better. When things are going well, when things are going great, or when things are just going okay and content and normal, they're going to make those times feel much better, and you're going to love that. There's a lot of people out there that can provide that for you. You can throw them into a friends category. I'm friendly with a lot of people that are slightly above acquaintances, but they're certainly not part of the brotherhood. They're above acquaintances and coworkers, and in that friendly realm for me. Some of them teeter towards legitimate friends, but that's where my level. I have a lot of levels in my vault of social circles because I'm weird. I'm a mental case. There's plenty of people out there going to do that. So you're going to come across people in your lives, dating wise, friendship wise, even family wise. You're going to go to family functions. You're going to go to social gatherings. You're going to see, and there's going to be people there that are going to be like, oh yeah, I love when this guy's around because we have such a good time together when we're hanging out, and it's going to be great, hunky dory. That does not mean that they're automatically part of your brotherhood. Okay? Your brotherhood, your version of your brotherhood comes into play when you're in the trenches. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I got very blessed and fortunate and lucky with everybody in my brotherhood. And here's why. When you want to assess somebody to reach that level in your social circle, support group level, inside the safe deposit box of your vault level, that's what I'm talking about. You have to go through a stressful time, a tough time. You have to be in the trenches to see how they're there for you, if they're there for you. And vice versa, if you want to be there for them. If you're with somebody that you're having a good time with, but then now they're in the trenches, and you're thinking to yourself like, I'm not that close to him to, they'll figure it out. And when the good times are good again, we'll hang out again. Then that's, you want to see how you feel about them in the trenches, and you want to see how they feel about when you're in the trenches. And that's hard to do. Sometimes you have to be friends or friendly with a person for a while before turmoil hits. I'm not saying arguments with the person necessarily. I'm saying when bad times are happening in somebody's life, one of your lives. And that's when you kind of see who's who. Who's going to stick around and who's going to bail. And that's tough. It's tough to get to that point. I have gone years with friendly people in my life before any of us were ever in the trench situation around each other to see, to find out like, oh, this is not the person, this is not a trench guy for me, this is not a brotherhood guy, this is not a support group guy, whatever. But with the brothers that I have, from the brothers from my high school days to college and to the military days, we got close faster, and this is probably why they're all in the safe deposit box in the vault and nobody else is, besides my brother Nicky Sticks, because we grew up together. We're in the trenches together for sure. We met, almost all of us met in the trenches together. College baseball, Creech, Wet Cat, Bone Crusher, Bonji, who else? Tucker, even Weasel. I hesitate to say Dangerous D because he was watching us in the trenches. He certainly wasn't in there with us. But that's public enemy number one of the LPDS, for those of you who forgot. We met in the trenches. The first week and a half of baseball season was hellacious conditioning. Sprint workouts in 95-degree, humid Florida weather, hill workouts, doing Lytles up and down a hill, holding up 45-pound plates over our head, sprinting up and down the hills, throwing up, getting, just passing out, just hating life together. We grew up in that. We were in that. Steve McStiff in the military, Cheech in the military. We grew up, we met during the middle of the beginning of tough training times or tough times in our careers. We just happened to come together in the trenches. High school, helmet, block, other high school friends, family show, Terrence. High school baseball, first week of tryouts was spent shoveling snow out of off the field, ice chipping the third and first baseline so we can practice out in the cold, and then running miles and miles and getting yelled at by our coaches. Trenches. All the other brothers in arms that I had that are part of my brotherhood, in the trenches, in combat, in boot camp, whatever. We met in the trenches. We already immediately saw we were in deep shit, and we were there for each other to get out. That's how you're going to find your brotherhood. That's how you're going to find your trench guys and your support group that will always be there for you, and you will always be there for them. So when I say recommendation, go get yourself a good support group, that's what I'm talking about. And it's hard to find those people. That's why my circle is small. That's why most people who have a circle like that, it's small. It's not because you can't make friends, and they're not weirdos that can't make friends. They probably have plenty of friends. I have a lot of fucking friends. A lot of friends. I don't have a lot of brothers. And that is by design. Because there are only a handful of people that you can trust to be in the trenches with you and allow you to be open and vulnerable without them judging you or bailing on you or running away from you. And they also know that you'll be in the trenches with them and will do the same for them. But now the good times are starting to roll a little bit. I had a major VA disability victory this past week. My neck stuff is still not done. That war is still going on for the neck issue I'm dealing with. But other stuff that I was dealing with that I talked about, shoulder, back, whatever, war pain, all that stuff, big victory. Not only am I now going to get compensated appropriately, as I should have been the whole time, I'm going to be getting a lot of back pay from that. And while the brothers of mine were there for me back when I was in the shit dealing with it earlier on, when shit was bad, they're going to be there celebrating this victory. And it's going to be so sweet. So sweet. And there's more on we're on the uphill. Yeah, there's it's going to be a little cyclical. There's going to be, obviously life is going to throw hurdles at you all the time. Uncontrollables. That's what they are. Like you can't avoid every hurdle in life, every obstacle in life, every stressor in life. There are 90% of them are uncontrollables. How you respond to them is the only thing in your control. And when you have that support group, when you have that brotherhood, you feel invincible. Even when you feel like the biggest piece of shit loser that you can't get anywhere. Everything is a loss to you. You get demoted in your job, a girl dumps you, a family member stops talking to you, whatever. Like if everything is dumping on you and you still feel like a shitbag loser, if you have brothers with you, you still know deep down inside, like, oh, like I'm not I'm still gonna make it through because we're in this together. As much as I feel bad that that I'm going through this tough time and they're here and they shouldn't have to be here, they're there and we're getting through this together and then we're gonna be having our own ticker tape parades when the good times start hitting again. And now that things are starting to swing up because of their help and support, and we continue to push through. Follow the big three, support each other one step at a time. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, and now we're on the up. You don't ever stop when shit hits the fan, no matter how bad you feel. You don't ever stop, and having that good brotherhood and support group is going to keep you going when you want to stop. And now we're uphill, baby. You can see over the edge of the trench, and you're like, God damn, there's the shore. There's the light. A couple more, you know, we're getting support now. We're getting extra support. The VA little victory there, that's a block that you can add to the step, to the ladder or whatever. Maybe you had a good date, didn't get rejected or whatever it is. That's another block. That's another step to the ladder. Reconcile with a family member. That's another step to the ladder. Extra work coming in for you, new client, whatever it may, another step to the ladder that you guys can climb out. And you know you're on the up, and then the celebration is going to be so fucking sweet. So, what if you do nothing else? If you do nothing else as an adult right now, take the time to assess your support group and see how many people you think are in your support group now in your brotherhood that would actually be there for you in those worst of times. And I hope this is an easy exercise for everybody that's listening. I hope it's an easy exercise. I hope you just think right now and say to yourself, "Yep," either because they have been already or because I've been there for them and they know, like we all know, we're on the same page. We got this. I hope it's that simple for you. Some people it may not be. Some people just might be having a group of really good friends that have never been in the shit together of any sort. We've never dealt with turmoil together. And you're like, oh shit. I actually don't know if these are ride or dies. And that gets scary too because you might be good friends with them. You might have a nice long relationship of being friends. and you're scared, like, well, what if they're not going to be there? What if I ask them for some, like, hey, I'm going through a tough time and I need some help, and they say no, and I realize, oh, this is not somebody in my circle. That's scary because then you start getting worried, like, well, do I even have a circle? Is anybody going to be there for me? And I get that, and I feel for you. And if you're one of those people that's scared like that, and you think maybe you don't have the brotherhood like I do or other people do, reach out. Reach out. If you're not a piece of shit, I'll I'll go through the trenches with you. We'll get in there. I'm a trench guy. You know I'm a trench guy. I can't not be in the trenches. When things are going well, I get a little kooky, as you know. Things are going too well. I'm like Ricky Bobby's dad in Talladega Nights. When things are going too well, he has to start setting fires and starting fights and getting out of there because he doesn't like it. It's too comfortable for him. He gets scared. I'm sort of like that, but for myself because I'm a trench guy. When we're living high on the hog, when things are going well, we're sipping pina coladas at the beach, I all of a sudden snap. And the next thing you know, I'm looking around behind me. Where's the trench? I'm jumping in. I've sort of built a business around it. Spearhead leadership is that business. That's what that is. It's other people that are dealing with, that are in their own trenches. You know, maybe they just got promoted to a managerial role or leadership role. They have no experience, no training, all this pressure from their boss and their team to be the know-it-all, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they can't admit that to anybody. And then they have to go home, and if they have families, they have to be the head of the family or whatever. They can't admit to their husband and kids or wife and kids and say, I'm dying here, because then they're nervous, like, oh, they're gonna not trust me and it just piles on them, and they're in a trench and they don't know where to go to dig out. They're trying to figure it out themselves. They're trying to dig out themselves, but they don't even know how. And that's where I come in. I jump in. Hey, I've been here before. I've been here plenty of times before. Let's go. I'm going to teach you how to get out. I'm going to show you the way out. I'm going to teach you how to get out in the future as well. So you're never going to have to worry about the trenches anymore. They're going to happen, and you're going to be fine. You're going to know, like, oh, yeah, I've been here before. I built a business around trenches. I love it. So if you're one of those people who doesn't know if they have a brotherhood, for sure, you don't know. I am a billion percent. If that was a real percentage, a billion percent, I'm a billion percent sure of who is in the brotherhood and who's there for me in the trenches and who I will be there for in the trenches as well. Not even a question for me. If you're not in that position, reach out. You can hit the hotline. You can DM me on the Instagrams. You can find me wherever. Comment on the YouTube and just say something. Just say, hey, I need trench help, whatever. Just put the word trench in the comments and I'll get in touch. Whatever you got to do. And I'll find you some other trench guys as well. We can help build you a support group of brothers so that if you ever end up in the trenches, you're never alone. Because there was nothing more helpful to me than having the brothers with me when I'm in the trenches. And I just want that for everybody. And I almost want, I hate to say this because I don't want to, I never want my friends and my brothers to be in shitty, positions in life, but I almost want them to be, because I can't wait to be there for them in any sort of way, shape, or form. I wish I could be there for them 24/7. They probably get annoyed by me. A lot of times my friends get annoyed by me already because I go overboard with some of this shit. But that's, if Creature or Wet Cat or Bonji even just said the word trench by accident, before they can even say like, "Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm not in the trenches. I just said the word trench." Before they even say that, I'm in the trench already with them. I'm like, all right, I got shovels, I got rope, I got ladder. We're good. Don't worry about it. And they'll be like, "What the hell are you doing? I'm not in the trench. I just said that. I said too late. I'm in. I'm trenched. I'm a trench guy. I can't. I can't get out of there." That's why I love going to legal war with HOAs and property managers and all the other shit that the shenanigans we get into at the LPDS trench. Those are just different trenches for me to dive into. I'm an addict. I've always been an addict. I'm an addict. I can't get out of the trenches. And I would very much prefer to be in someone else's trench to help them out because I hate sometimes being in my own trench. It sucks emotionally. It fucking sucks. I had my war pain VA appointment last week. God, was that fucking brutal. Was that absolutely brutal for me. But at the same time, it was one of those like, I hate it, but I love it because I'm in a trench right now. I'm playing where you merely adopted the trenches. I was born in them, molded by them. Trenched up. If anybody says the word trench, I'm already in it. That's just how I operate. I can't help it. It's a gift and a curse, I guess. I don't know. But please find yourself that brotherhood. Find those trench guys and gals. And if you can't, please reach out. I cannot. There will never be enough words or adequate words to describe how life-changing that level of support in an adult's in a human's life will be for you throughout. You can't buy that. You can't hire that out. You can't guess and hope that it happens with someone that you might like and are friendly with. It's tough to find, but there is nothing better than having that in your lives. There's nothing better. And that could be your spouse. I'm not saying like it has to be like if your spouse is your trench guy or gal, tell me your life isn't better. Tell me your life isn't better. Knowing that like this is my ride or die right here. I married my ride or die. I've never once heard somebody say, "This is the love of my life," but I don't, like, she's my ride or die or he's my ride or die. But life's okay. Like it could be better. Like maybe they'll probably stick around. Like no, that's not a ride. That's not your ride or die. Then nobody says that. When you talk to somebody and they're in that deep love with their spouse and they're like, "This is my partner in crime, my ride or die, my A1 from day one," whatever the fucking terms you want to use to describe it. Their lives are better. Their lives are 1,000% better. That's also not a real statistic, a real percentage, but their lives are better. So do what you got to do to find your trench guys and gals. And I'm here to help all the time because I can't imagine my life without them. And I don't want you guys to have to live like that either. And that's all I got to say about that. Before we go, very quickly, the big three, the three pillars to staying strong and being a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, being able to bring that positivity and goodness to all those around you throughout the land. Number one, exercise every day. Do something every day to improve your fitness and health physically, mentally, or emotionally. Number two, the hardest one to do, don't be a shitty, negative person, be a kind person. When the opportunity arises to be shitty or negative or to engage in negativity of any way, shape, or form, take a deep breath, take the LPDS step back, remove yourself from the situation, detach from those negative emotions, and just don't do anything to react to them at all. Put your phone down, close your laptop, walk away, whatever you got to do, don't engage in them. Focus your brain on something else. Number three, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good things you have in your lives. You can do this by thinking about one good thing in your life each day and what your life would be like without that thing, just to get you started. And that'll immediately put you in a state of gratitude. And the more you can do that throughout the day, the easier it is for you to get yourself out of the negative and focus on more positive, productive things in your lives, like exercising. And if you do these 3 things each and every day, a little bit to start, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, I promise you, you'll be a better, happier, kinder, healthier, less stressed, more genuine human being, be able to spread that positivity and goodness to all those around you and throughout the land. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your notifications on and tell your friends and enemies and hit that hotline 202-670-1114. Love the hotline. I'll always love the hotline. It's fun to engage with you guys in that way, in that regard. So questions, comments, advice, jokes, shit talks, trolls, whatever it is, call it in. You want to remain anonymous? Say so, and we'll keep it anonymous. 202-670-1114. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.